That's right. It was IAP Badger or something like that.
Yeah.
And I want to say I had never heard of this developer before, but I sort of looked up what he had. And he has a great little game Corona made on a store called Laser Sword Chef 2099 with an exclamation point. And I love anything that has an exclamation point at the end. And it's a fun little casual game. So go download that. Go check out what he's doing because it seems like he's doing good stuff, and he's just throwing that out for the community to use. So good on him.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, what do you call that? Obfuscating or abstracting that process would be great because as we know, all the different stores have their own rules, and it kind of stinks. I think that detracts. And this is one of the things that the computer industry as a whole has been struggling with for years, right? Is that standards. Trying to, in the early days, very early days, there was a lot of proprietary stuff and people trying to come up with their own thing and be the big dog and all that stuff like that. But they learned that if they had open standards and worked together, that there was a bigger market to be had. And I think that the app stores are kind of in that space right now where they're just beating the snot out of each other and hoping that one of them will come out on top. And the developers kind of get caught in the middle of all that. Okay, cool. Anybody else got any announcements? Anything else?
No, I'll make mine by the by as we go through.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do turrets. I'm really interested in this topic because to me this is one of those things that you always see in games and you go, I wonder how they did that. And to me that's just that moment where you're just like, if you can see that kind of the curtain pulled back on that, it will mean a lot of aha moments for other things as well.
All right. So first of all, I changed the name to add some exclamation points to make Jason happy. Jason's gonna like the game 3 times as much now because it's got 3 exclamation points. Smart Alec, I know. All right. So currently we got 6 levels now, and monsters need coins. I'm waving at the screen. I always do that, like you can see me. I kind of wish we had Google Hangouts had a camera and the ability to screencast.
Oh, that would be awesome.
But yeah, then our bandwidth would go to poop. So
we could definitely put a webcam up in your office and just
there we go. No,
watch Ed all the time.
You don't need that. Okay, so level 5 is I wanted to change this around a little bit. Level 5 contains your new element, so it's all about you. Invisible platform that you suggested and we made last week. And it's kind of a tricky level because it's got one little bit where you got to kind of like get your air control just right to pass through it. And you got 2, 4, 6, 7 coins you got to collect if you want to finish them all or get them all. Right now you don't have to collect all the coins to move on, but I think what we'll do is in a future week we'll add the logic that prevents you from moving on until you get all the coins. Level 6 introduces the turrets. Now I'm going to show you the turrets first, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the fundamentals, the concepts that you have to understand before you can even approach turrets. So we got this one turret here. Let me jump down here so this makes more sense. We got fixed turrets. So this is a fixed turret, and this is a fixed turret. So we got turrets that can point up, to the right, down, left, and then 4 more that can point up and to the right, down and to the right, down and to the left. So you can get these things pointing just the way you want them. Now they never change, and they always fire at the same rate, which you can modify for people who are following along. You can modify in common.lua, which is our settings file for basically everything in the game. There is also a rotating turret, auto-rotating turret, and it comes in a couple of flavors. It comes in a rotate right by 90 degrees and then fire, rotate left by 90 degrees and fire. So basically what you're seeing here is the 45-degree version. So we got a rotating to the right, rotating to the left, rotate by 90, rotate by 45, and every time it stops, it fires, as you can see. And then my favorite, let's go to it, if I can navigate here. The sensor missile. So we got a turret that, okay, that's not going to go well. Hard to demo these things.
Did you restart? Or did you die? You died.
I died, yeah.
Okay. I thought you restarted like real quick before you got hit.
No, I didn't. I died.
You died.
So this thing detects when you're in range. Basically, it detects currently the gap size, which is the distance from here to here. So when you're within 1.2 gaps, I think that was the setting I used in the code, you're close enough and it turns on. It detects that you're nearby, and it starts firing. And it fires missiles, not what I called lasers. The other things we saw there, you could think of as bullets. I call them lasers in the code, but whatever. It fires missiles, and these are interesting in that they steer, and they try to catch you. But then they run out of juice after 5 seconds. So as long as you can avoid them for 5 seconds, you're good. But if you're like me, then you're pretty much toast. So, although I'm doing great right now. Yeah. Oh no, not so much. Okay.
So the turret doesn't necessarily track your movements, but as the missile does.
I did not create that one because I wanted to leave that as an open thing that we might try to like do together. So there's two options there. We can make an auto-rotating turret, or a turret that tries to aim at you and fires when it's aiming in your direction.
Okay.
Now the latter is harder, so I don't think we'd be able to get that done in today's episode. So we might try to do that in the future. But upgrading the current missile turret or rocket turret, what I'm calling this a rocket turret, we'll upgrade. Oh jeez, upgrading that to automatically also rotate, and just that way the turret has the possibility of being closer to you when it fires. We could do that today. Let's see, however, because I need to, before we can do any of this and look at the code, I have to introduce people to some basic concepts, which I know that you guys on the Hangout are probably pretty familiar with, but a lot of the people who would be doing this for the first time are probably completely not familiar with. So, in order to do that, just a moment.
Yeah, you definitely lay the groundwork for us.
All right, I'll do that. So, I complained on previous shows that I need some way to like draw on the screen and whatnot. So I made an app just for the show. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to release a binary for Android and iOS eventually for people who want to download this and use it. And it's very rudimentary. It's just a simple drawing program where you draw, and then it replaces the points with lines. You can change the thickness. You can change the color. You can change the background color. And it comes with 15 pages, so you can switch topics and write about topic A, write about topic B. It's got undo, so you can undo individual strokes that you've done per page. You can clear a page, and you can change the point size. So this just enough. Basically, I made this app. It's like 300 lines of code. Just enough for me to do this demo, and I'm not going to release the code yet. Probably not for a while. The reason is as I wrote this, I realized that there was something in here that I could use to make a product, and I don't want anybody jumping the gun on me. So what I will do is provide this to folks in a binary format for now on Android and eventually iOS, and we'll see where we go from there.
Okay, cool.
So let me clear these now that I've drawn on my pages.
I like it when tools get created in order to make other things.
I'm going to chime in and say, it's not going to have every bit of functionality you've got, but I actually have a module up on my site for finger painting, which is similar to what you're doing, not quite as full-featured. But if you need to throw a drawing canvas into an app, it's up there, and it does work.
Cool.
Yeah, I was kind of torn, right? Because this is the kind of thing where you want to like let people see it and whatever, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, darn it! I just had this idea, and I bet somebody else will. Following my rule of if you have the idea, somebody else does too. You can't let them have the work yet. So, anyways, back on topic. Let me get myself set up here. Let's first talk about screen coordinates and just the concepts behind vectors.